we're going to be modeling the rainwater pipes, the material or segment of which, according to the plan, is supposed to be polyethylene. Now, we've also seen in the previous videos how we could adjust the pipes materials and their fittings inside our file. So all that's left for us to do is to place them. Currently, I am in the roof floor plan, where we've also got several different risers. I'm going to be starting from riser number 1. We've got one floor drain here that leads to riser number 1 and another floor drain right about here. And basically, both of these floor drains are connected to each other and then lead to the riser number 1. So first, let's go take a look in the riser diagram and check for this riser. So I'm going to go over here, and here it is, rainwater riser number 1, and the floor drains are connected to it in the roof level, and then the riser goes all the way down without any branches in between levels, and the diameter of the pipe is 4 inches, and then it ends at this level, which is actually the ceiling of the second floor. So it ends at the second floor and connects to riser number 6. Now let's go take a look at this riser. Here it is, number 6. And we've got riser number 1 connecting to it. Now as for riser number 6 itself, it leads all the way down and ends at the ceiling of the ground floor, and then connects to riser number 18. Now let's go find rainwater riser number 18, which is right over here. Now if we zoom in, we can see that there are several other risers connected to it, and the collective ends at this point connecting to riser number 26. Now let's go find riser 26, where we can see that there are some other risers connected to it, which is on this floor. Let's go see which one it is. It's level B2, where our riser ends and connects to the surface water pipes. So we're going to try to model this entire line. Then we're going to check in the plans, double check in the riser diagram, and if there are any problems or contradictions, we're going to have to place a comment. So for now, we're going to start from riser number 1. Now let's go back to the model. And first, I'm going to need to know the elevation of these pipes I'm about to draw. I could check that from the farthest floor drain from the riser, as in first I'm going to have to place a section along this floor drain line and see what it has along the way. So I'm going to get the section command, then click over here and click all the way up here. And then I'm going to also make this section tighter. Then we're going to right click on the section, go to view, and then we're going to have to look for the roof level. And here is that level where the floor drain pipe is coming through, and there's also a beam in the way. We're going to have to measure from below this beam up to the FFL to get the elevation we need to apply to our pipes. So I'm going to get the align dimension command, then click below the beam and measure up to the FFL, which appears to be 800. Now, since we are drawing rainwater pipes, we're going to try a different system type for them. If you remember, we used the WP system type for the restroom waste pipes, and for the floor drains, we used FD. And this time we could define a new system type, make it RW for rainwater. So I'm going to head into the project browser palette, then expand families, and then find piping systems, expand that as well. And then I'm going to go on to the sanitary system type, right click on it, duplicate it, and that'll give us sanitary 2. So I'm going to go on to it, right click, then select rename, and I'm going to rename it to RW, rainwater, then press enter. Now I'm going to right click on this RW, and this time I'm going to select type properties. Now over here under the graphics section, I could try to change the color of this system type. So click edit. Do you see how here it says lines? This is actually for the pipe's outlines. I'm going to go into color and I'm going to choose one. For example, I'm going to select this brown, then click OK, and OK. Now let's enable the pipe command, and then we're going to check the left-hand rule. We're going to get the pipe command PI. Now we're going to check the 5 items we need to check before drawing pipes. First, let's check the pipe fitting and material, which we're going to need to select the high-density polyethylene. Now also, as you can see, we've got 2 different types for it, so they're probably different in diameters. Let's check them out. I'm going to select this SDR26, and for its diameter, we're going to be needing 110, which we have it. Now let's check the other one. It is SDR33, and if we take a look over here, we can see that we don't have the 110. The sizes overall seem to be different in this type, so I'm just going to use this SDR26. So we've checked the first thing, which was the fitting type. The second thing is the system type, which I'm going to open this drop down, select RW for rainwater, and the third item is the diameter, for which the plan requires 110, so let's open the drop down and choose 110. The fourth thing is the elevation. You remember that in the section we measured and got 800, so for now I'm going to be using the 800 as the basis, and actually I'm going to have to put negative 800. Later I'm going to go back to the section and reposition the pipe if necessary. There goes the fourth setting, and the last thing we need to check is the slope. We're going to be drawing from the floor drain to the riser, and basically we are getting far from the fixture. This getting farther from the fixture has a negative connotation, so the slope is going to be negative, or slope down by 1%. Now that we've checked all the 5 items, and that also means that you have risen all of your left hand's fingers. So now you may draw. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to click near the fixture, then go up at 45 degrees. Now if I continue according to the plan, then that'll interfere with the lower levels column. So we're going to have to stop around here, and then I'm going to go all the way up toward the riser. And also we need to know what's going to happen to the riser and where it's going to be located. We need to check later that now that we have repositioned this pipe and then consequently the riser as well, what's going to happen to them in the lower levels. But I'm just going to click and press escape. So you see the section is not covering this pipe, so I'm going to stretch it a little bit from the side, then go into its view, which is section 19. Now if we check over here, we can see that the elevation negative 800, which we used for the pipe as the basis from the roof, is interfering with this beam. So we select the pipe, then use the arrow keys in the keyboard to bring it lower. There we go, and now it's at a proper elevation from the first beam. It's not interfering with the second one or with the third beam. Now let's head back to the plan, and let's draw this one. First we're going to get the pipe command using the shortcut PI, and now let's check the 5 items. The fitting type is correct, so is the system type, then we've got the diameter, and now we go to elevation. You see, we're going to be drawing from this pipe over here towards the floor drain, and since we don't know the exact elevation of this pipe from which we're about to draw, we're just going to use the inherit elevation option over here. You remember we said that this inherit elevation inherits the elevation from the basis, as in it's going to take on the elevation of the item on which we click. So enable, and right now the elevation is at negative 907.6. So we're going to take a look at it and see what happens to it when we click on the pipe. Now we're going to be drawing from this pipe towards the floor drain, as in we're basically getting closer to our fixture. So that means the slope is positive or slope up. Now notice how when I click on this pipe, the middle elevation here is going to be changing. So click, and it was negative 907, but now it's negative 979. In other words, because we had the inherit elevation enabled, the elevation was inherited from this pipe we clicked on. Now we go down at 45 degrees and click here. And we've also got the T-fitting, and then I'm going to go toward the floor drain and click near it. Now press escape. Now I'm going to also place a section over on these pipes to make sure there aren't any beams in the way that they're interfering with. So section, click, and click. And then I'm going to also make the section tighter so we could see this branch in it. Now right click and go to view. Now as you can see, it's not interfering with any beams, so that means we have the right elevation. Now we're not going to be connecting the pipes to the floor drains, and instead we just want to finish drawing the risers all the way down and see what happens to it in the lower levels. According to the riser diagram, we're going to have to draw it down to the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor ceiling. So we're going to need to extend the pipe this far. So we're going to have to go down vertically, for which we're going to be needing two 45-degree elbows. And I'm going to be doing the same thing I did in the previous video where we used the two joined 45-degree elbows, which made one family. So first I'm going to select this pipe, then click on Edit Type, and then edit the fittings. So as you can see over here, we've got this double family that has two 45-degree elbows. So I'm going to disable the first one, which is a single elbow, but use this double instead, then click OK and OK. So from here on out, we will be getting two 45-degree elbows which are joined. First, we're going to right click on the pipe, then select Draw Pipe, and we're going to lead it straight down. So for the elevation, for example, I'm going to put -3000, then click Apply twice. Now let's place the section over to see how it turned out. I'm just going to grab the section and move it over here, and I'm going to also make it tighter so that it covers only this pipe. Now right click on it, then go to View. Now you see that we've got double 45-degree elbows. Now I'm going to right click on this pipe, select Draw Pipe, and I'm going to extend it all the way down to the 3rd floor, which is in fact the ceiling of the 2nd floor. So we're going to stop here, then press Escape. Now also, as you can see, this pipe is right beside the beam without interfering with it. Now let's go also take a look in the other levels. We were modeling in the roof floor, so we're going to have to go down a level, which would be the 5th floor, and see if the position of the pipe matches with what the plan requires. So let's zoom in on here, and as you can see, the riser seems to be a little to the right from the plan, and that's because we drew this pipe to the right. So that's why this riser turned out this way. But first, let's go check out the other levels, and later I'm going to align this riser with the plan's demonstration. So let's go in the 4th floor, where we can see the same thing going on as in the previous level. Now let's head to the 3rd floor, and we've got the same thing again, and we've also got a change in direction in this floor. It goes out to reach another riser, which is exactly what we have now. This pipe is coming down all the way here. It's just going to have to go a very long way to get to this other rainwater riser number 6. So it seems to be that our plans and the riser diagram match, and they are pretty much coordinated. But first I'm going to have to reposition this riser up in the roof. So I'm going to go to the roof floor plan. Now here we're going to go over to the Modify tab, then select the Split Element tool, and I'm going to also check the Delete Inner Segment box from the options bar. Basically that means that if I click on 2 points to split an element, then the segment in between them will be deleted. So let's go do it and see how it goes. One click here, and we're going to try to split the pipe, but we get a warning which means that there's something going on here. So I'll just click Cancel and see what's wrong. First I'll select the pipe, click on Edit Type, then Edit. Now the thing we need to check is the union, which is the family that's being placed when we are trying to split an element. We've got a double flange for it, as well as an electrofusion family. Now at this point it couldn't place a double flange, so I'm just going to select None, then click OK and OK, and now we're going to try again. Split element, then click here, and now it was able to place that electrofusion family. Now later we're going to have to check to see what the problem was as to why it couldn't place the double flange. We didn't even need one, but we can always go back and see what the problem was. Now another click here, and now you can also see that the segment between the places that we clicked to split has been deleted. Now I'm going to press Escape, then delete this and this. Now I'm going to select the riser and move it to the left to where the plan requires. And then I'm going to go over to another floor plan, for example in the 5th floor, and see that the pipe has been placed in the right position. Now back to the roof floor plan. And now I'm going to be needing elbows to make this change in direction. So I'm going to right click on here, select Draw Pipe, and make sure the slope is up. Then I'm going to go down at 45 degrees. You can also see that we have the axis of the pipe. Then click. Now there's probably not enough space for an elbow fitting to be placed here, so we're just going to click cancel, and then I'm going to select this pipe and extend it to here. We're just making more room for the fitting. Then I'm going to press the escape key once, then select this pipe, select draw pipe, then go down at 45 degrees. Let's extend it even more to make sure this is the problem. Right click draw pipe, then draw down at 45 degrees and this time longer. Now you see we've chosen to use two 45-degree elbows for the elbow fitting, and do you see how it's creating a problem now? So hit cancel, then select the pipe, go to edit type, then edit, and then we're going to enable the elbow fitting, which could adapt to all angles. Now click OK and OK, and now let's draw again. Right click draw pipe, we're going to draw a longer pipe at 45 degrees, and click. Now you can see the elbow has been placed. Now let's use the trim tool and see if there's still enough space for trimming and connecting these pipes together. TR. Click and click. And it looks like there was enough space for these items to connect. Okay, so over here we needed to draw our pipe a little farther to the right to avoid its interference with the beam or column. And then up here, to make sure that we place the riser exactly as it is on the plan, we had to change the direction of this pipe and then connect it to the riser by using two 45-degree elbows. So now the path of the riser in the levels 4 and 3 have been fixed, which means that the vertical riser pipe is now within the column cover. Now let's head into the third floor plan where we've got a change in direction. So first I'm going to create a 45-degree section. Over here, click and click. From this side it makes it a 135-degree section. Now we're going to also make the section tighter. Then right click on it and go to view. Now we were working on the third floor or the ceiling of the second floor, and from here we're going to need to extend the pipe even further down. But first I'm going to stretch the section from the side. Then select this pipe, right click on it, select draw pipe, and here I could use a double 45-degree elbow, so we're going to have to change the family again. First I'll select the pipe, go to edit type, select edit, and then I'm going to disable the single elbow and use the double instead. Click OK and OK. Now right click, draw pipe, and this time we make sure the slope is down, and now we're going to need to draw straight to the left at a 90-degree angle. Now you can see the double 45-degree elbows. Now let's head back to the third floor plan, and it seems like we've drawn too far. So first I'm going to grab this section header and bring it down, and then I'm going to grab this pipe and move it backwards along the plan's lines. Now we need a 45-degree elbow, so again we select the pipe, go to edit type, then edit, and re-enable the 45-degree elbow, click OK and OK. We're just going to need to constantly switch between these two families to go through the process faster. Now right click, draw pipe, also make sure the slope is down, and now we're going to draw all the way down to the next rainwater riser, which is Rainwater 6. Now click, and then we're going to go down at a 45-degree angle and click on here. Alright, so why can't we see the pipe now? It's because of the view range. So first I'm going to create a section along this whole pipe, then check its elevation for any beams in the way, and then I'm going to change the view range. So first we place the section, one click here, then we're going to go all the way up to cover the whole pipe, then click here. Now we're going to also make the section tighter so we can only see this pipe in it. Now right click and go to view. Let's head into the third level and check from the beginning of the pipe. Here's the first beam, and our pipe could go higher, so we're going to select it and use the arrow keys in the keyboard to move it higher and closer to the beam. It's also going past the next beam and the next one and the next one, and then if you look over here you can see that it is almost touching the false ceiling. So basically that 1% slope that we've applied to our pipe has made it touch the false ceiling by the end, and that's kind of problematic for us. And here it is. Now first let's fix the view range VR, and I'm going to go to the view depth offset and change it to -1500, then click OK, and now the pipe is visible. Now I'm going to check this side as well in a 45-degree section to check its elevation and its possible interference with the false ceiling. We already had a 45-degree section, so we're going to move it over here, then make it a little tighter, right-click on it and go to View. Now, as you can see here, this pipe is totally touching the ceiling, and we're going to need to find a solution for it. We need to either be allowed to change the value of the slope from 1% to, for example, 0.8. So we would adjust the elevation of this pipe, or we could change the elevation of the false ceiling itself. So once we've come across something like this, first we're going to go to the Annotate tab, then click on Revision Cloud, and then click here and another click here. Now we're going to have to go to the Comments section, and we're going to report this interference of the pipe with the ceiling. So I'm going to write interference with ceiling. Then I'm going to click on the green check mark to confirm the comment, and then later we're going to check the results.